Hello, neighbors. It's Friday, right around noontime, a little before noon. And boy, we had some fun last evening. We went up to Dunn's Camps at Hogan Pond. One of our friends was spending the week there. Last night was her last night. She's gone home now. Went home this morning. But we went up to visit her last night. I programmed her Baofeng radio for her home base repeaters and things while I was there last night, so she's ready to go when she gets home with her new radio, her new GMRS license. She's been on the air, so she's ready to go. But while we were visiting, we were there, I guess we got there about 6:30 last night, and a couple hours later, we're sitting there around the table visiting. She's got a couple of good-sized dogs. One of them's older and kind of lazy. The other one's pretty active, but anyway, so she got a couple of good-sized dogs there, and Thelma and I were there, and this bat appears and starts flying around the camp. Good-sized bat. I would say he had probably at least a 10-inch wingspan, right around that area. Well, if you have a camp in Maine, you probably have bats. That's just the way it is. We used to have a camp up near Messalonsky Lake at a church campground, and we had lots of bats. And there's not many good ways to get rid of them. There's almost no way to completely get rid of them. Anyway, the first thing you do is you open up a door, and typically they will find the door and they will go out. Not always. And this particular bat didn't have any interest in going out, apparently. I like bats. I don't like bats in a house, but I would rather have a bat in the house than a bird in the house. Birds fly into windows and kill themselves because they can't see the window. Bats know there's a window, a glass there, and they know not to go at it. Anyway, this bat was swooping around. Well, I went out in the back hallway, and I found a long-handled fishing net. And I thought, well, if I can get him outdoors, then we'll be good. Well, he would land up in the corner, up near the ceiling, and I'd scoop him, get him into the net. Well, the net it was one of these loose nets, not a tight knit net. And he'd go right through the holes before I could get him to the door. And went around. Thelma's under the kitchen table. Our friend is back on the couch with her two dogs, trying to keep them calm, and herself, up against a wall. And I'm running around with this net up the stairs, down the stairs. He did go upstairs once, out in the kitchen, back in the living room, round and round with this stupid bat. And he'd stop every once in a while, and that's when I'd kind of get him into the net and try to get to the door, and he'd fall out of the net and start flying around again. I got him out once. He came right back in. So I don't know what was going on with this bat. Well, finally he went up over some shelves in the kitchen where there was a high shelf with some kerosene lamps and things like that up there. Kind of dusty and cobwebby up there. Went up there and disappeared. He crawled into a crack somewhere and disappeared. So we left there a little after 9 o'clock about 9 o'clock last night. And figured, well, maybe he found a way out and he's gone. Or maybe he's just down in the wall someplace. Well, we checked in with her this morning, and he reappeared, and around 1:30 this morning, she squished him. Killed him. He may have been sick. He was acting he was getting tired of flying around last night. I noticed that he wouldn't fly around as much before he'd perch, and he was going a little slower, and well, he didn't really try to attack me at all. He went up past me a few times, pretty close. I felt him go by, you know. But anyway, I told her, I said, you ought to have a BB gun. That's what, a nice little pump-up BB gun. We used to have bats, like I said, in our cottage, and 2:30 in the morning, we'd hear them fluttering about, and we'd just pull the sheets up over our head until they stopped. And then in the morning, there'd be one up in the peak of the roof, and I would just take my BB gun and pop him once with a BB, and boom, he's gone. He lets go and falls down. We throw him out in the bushes. So Anyway, I went online. Daisy has a nice little smooth bore, pneumatic, multi-pump BB gun, Model 35, Powerline Model 35. Check it out. Have a good day, folks.